All right, everybody, welcome back to another video here on Financial Friends. Today, we are going to be discussing my entire dividend portfolio. Not just the DividendJourney portfolio, but literally the entire dividend portfolio. Any stock that I own that pays dividends will be shown in this video. So if you are excited, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Two quick things to address right off the bat. Number one, this is not me showboating. This is not me showing off. This is not me bragging, any of that type of stuff. I'm humble and I am not trying to make anyone feel any specific type of way. This is me being open, honest, and transparent. And that's the number two thing, is that this is for an educational purpose. This is me showing you my portfolio so that you can get an understanding of what I own and why I own it. A lot of people who are trying to invest and who are navigating this space don't necessarily know what they should and shouldn't be investing in, and they're getting knowledge from everywhere. And so I just hope that I can be one piece of that knowledge. If you want to join Financial Friends, get knowledge from other people who are doing this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I post 3 videos a week, every single week, and there's always comments and different things going on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and public, where you can join the conversation about business, investing, and finance. So, for educational purposes only, and to hope that you can learn something new, here is my entire dividend portfolio. Now, I do own stocks everywhere that do not pay dividends, but this is all of my stocks that do pay dividends. We'll break down my 3 separate portfolios that are in 3 different places, or really 4 different places. But first, we're going to do a complete overview so that if you just want to see everything I own, you can watch and then head out. So this is everything. Now, I did clickbait you into this video telling you it was $15,000. I'm not going to lie, if you kind of round it up, it is a little bit closer to that. I do have about $1,000 or so, it's a little bit more than that, 401k through my work, and so this really bumps that up. But if you got clickbaited and you're upset, I'm sorry. But if you want to learn, stick around a little bit. So here is everything. If you literally just wanted to see every single thing I own, here it is. You can pause the video and check it out, and you can head out. If you want to stick around a little bit more, let's dive in. So here's the diversification of everything. You can see MISC. MISC is a large part of my overarching dividend portfolio. I'm going to call the dividend portfolio just everything that I own. Almost 90% of the whole dividend portfolio is just ETFs. This is something that I think doesn't get talked about on all the social medias. It might seem like I'm investing in individual companies. It might seem like I'm investing in individual stocks all of the time, but really a large portion of my income and of my overall investments right into ETFs every single time. So that is something that's not exciting to talk about on YouTube. It's not entertaining on YouTube, but the reality should be, and this is not financial advice, that most people probably have all of their, or a large portion of their net worth or of their investments in ETFs, and that's probably for a specific reason. Wink, wink. Okay? My biggest individual holding is SFY. You'll see where that comes from in a minute, and really all my biggest holdings, VEA, VOO, SCHB, SCHD, VWO, and then Target, all of these, not including Target obviously, ETFs. What pays me the most? VEA, SFY, and VOO. ETFs, right? You put in a lot of money, they're going to pay you. Here's the breakdown a little bit easier for everybody to see. I'm just going to scroll through. That way you are able to get a picture of what are my actual largest holdings overarchingly. FISROX down here is, I think I have about $90 or so, so it's probably going to slide in somewhere in this position. At the moment, it's not populating. This is a beta version of the dividend tracker, so they're constantly working on things, new data is being inputted. But again, these are all of the different positions. You can see the biggest positions, ETFs. That's the big takeaway here from the beginning. Now, where are these ETFs stored and why do I own them? Well, thank you for asking. It's going to be my SoFi Roth IRA. This is my very first portfolio when I first started investing, and I have been building it since July of 2020. And when I tell you that almost all of my money was going into this portfolio, I mean literally, besides the money I was setting aside for taxes, I kept nothing for myself for probably 8 or 9 months. Boom, right into this portfolio, constantly. I didn't save a penny. All I was doing was investing. We were in lockdown. We didn't have a lot going on. I was doing DoorDash. I was making money and I was investing. And I think that for anyone who is learning or who really just wants to get started, if you're living with your parents and if you have the option to do so, do this. Start a portfolio. Doesn't matter where the market's at. Just get started and start investing and heavily investing. It will get you motivated. It will get you interested. You'll start to see the ball rolling a little bit faster. It's not going to be instant and it's not going to be overnight, but it's going to help. So these are the positions. If you want to go ahead and search them up on your spare time, you can. SFY, SFYX, those are both the top 500 and then the next top 500 companies, both through SoFi. Vanguard, I don't even know what the title of this is. I just invest in this. I'll be straight up and honest with you. I don't even really pay attention to what these positions are. Your small cap ETF. It's going to keep pulling me all the way back here, but I'll open them up for you. The FTSE Developed ETF and FTSE Emerging Market. I just buy. I don't even pay attention to the dividend yields, right? This is not for dividends. This is for retirement, but it is yielding me a lot. And all of my dividends across all my portfolios are always reinvested. Every single position, not a single one is being paid back to me. It's all being reinvested. Speaking of all being reinvested, these are all being reinvested in constantly. These are some of my positions that I have in individual portfolios, both at SoFi and at Public, that I'm constantly just small little amounts trickling into these. The reason why I have most of these positions is because I started them a while ago. SCHD, Starbucks, some of these I just kind of like to add money to every once in a while. Starbucks, I have a little challenge, right? Every time I go there and I buy a drink, $5 goes into the stock. SCHD, I'm really building up to hope that at some point in the future, maybe that can cover a bill or a couple of bills for me. That's a little bit forward thinking. I don't really have a plan. Like I said, for the moment, I'm buying and everything's being reinvested. Apple I got into when I was a little bit younger, back in 2020. IOO was a little bit of international diversification. J&J is an absolute powerhouse, just one of my favorite dividend stocks. And I might move some things around with it. I do own it in the DividendJourney portfolio. I own it outside that portfolio as well in another portfolio. And so when they do split the stock up, potentially I might be moving around, maybe keeping a higher yield one, or merging both of them into the DividendJourney portfolio, maybe merging them both out, depending on the way they split, what everything looks like. I'm curious. QQQ has been one I've been potentially thinking of moving off, maybe getting QQQM. It was a position I started a while back. I'm holding on to it for now. I don't have a real plan with it. SEHB is my main broad market index, so I'm just averaging into that along with VOO, constantly buying. VNQ, I started to get a little bit of real estate exposure when I very first started my investing portfolio, and so I got in at a really low price. I'm slowly adding to that, but I'm hesitant because I have such a low average cost on that. VTI is in my public portfolio. I'm trying to make sure that the largest position in all my portfolios is ETFs. Like I said, almost 90% is in ETFs. I want to make sure that stays consistent. So overall, all my outside Roth IRA positions paying me about $83 a month. This is useful because I'm going to always want these Roth IRA positions to be reinvested. It's not taxable to me. This $83 in annual income on these positions outside of a tax-sheltered Roth IRA are exposed to having to pay taxes on them. And so at some point, I might as well just start to take these funds out and utilize them and continue to build these portfolios, both the SoFi Roth IRA and the DividendJourney portfolio, which is a Roth IRA, tax-free, and just keep rolling that money in, maybe for retirement or maybe at some point opening it up and being able to pull from it as I get older. Now we're back here, right? We're back to the portfolio that you all know and love that I am really building on purpose for dividends. You can see it has the highest yield. It has the highest yield on cost. And at some point, maybe not, probably will never beat out this one, but it will have the highest annual income. I basically do not even think of this existing. I just plow money into it and I never check it, ever. And I think everyone should have either a position like VTI or VOO that they do that with, or a Roth IRA that they do that with as well. But This one will be a little bit more active. I'm going to be a little bit more research oriented and individual stock oriented. But as we've talked about in many videos, keeping it anchored with ETFs is very important to me to keep things relatively stable and a little bit less risky. I will be looking at moving some of the personal positions, potentially like J&J, potentially Starbucks, maybe cutting this Apple position and adding all of that into this one here, into the DividendJourney portfolio. It's going to help to keep all of those positions tax sheltered. I just have a lot going on with school, and maybe over the summer we'll do a series or something where I do merge all those together. Let me know in the comments if you think I should really focus every position that pays dividends into one portfolio, or if it's better to have some kind of spread out. Like I said, this is Financial Friends. We all learn together, so let me know down below. So I hope that you learned something. I hope that this video was a little bit educational. Again, $223 of annual income is my overarching dividend payments over the course of a year, constantly growing. And I think every once in a while, I'll update you guys. If you do want to see my whole portfolio, every single stock that I do own, you can join Patreon. The link is going to be down below. It really does help support, and I'm constantly updating that, adding each position that I do buy and its respective average price, how many shares I have, and I'm letting people know when I'm buying stocks over on Patreon. So if you do want to know, go ahead, hit that link down below, join that. Maybe at some point in the future, if there's enough traction here on the channel, I'll definitely go ahead and drop my entire portfolio. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Hope that you learned something new. If you want to see the next video, go ahead and hit subscribe. Hit the bell right next to it. That way you're notified when that video comes out. And I hope that you all have a fantastic day.